try it. You're gonna get 4 bars at time. No one spit it.
Are we, so we're on the line. All right, everyone.
What's up,
This,
folks?
okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
This conversation.
Know your name. Yeah.
What was that mean? You know your mic's on, right?
I know.
We're just kind of taking our
You can
time
stay
so the
interested.
buffering
No one's
goes.
gonna know,
And
someone's gonna jog
people
on.
are jumping on.
These 3,
How many people we got so far?
4.
Oh, 20. Was you said 2? I'm saying
Oh, I thought you said
2 0
4,
2 0 20. All right, then we could kick off. There's 20 people there.
All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Well, you can talk to your fans and say hello to your fans. Now I'm gonna take and do the proper
Yeah.
show.
Hey. Hi everyone. You all know this is Dr. Amon. Welcome to our live. I'm here with the electricDocs, Dr. Amsu, Mikey Breaks, and you're gonna enjoy this live. So our anchor man, the man who makes it all work in the background, and it makes it possible for us, the electricDocs, to operate on a day-to-day basis. I'm passing it over to Mr. Briggs.
Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome to electricDocs Live, the show where the electricDocs get live, man. You know, as you say, we've got Dr. Amsu here, and we've got Dr. Amun, the electricDocs. You haven't heard of the man, get to know. Seeing this, you're obviously on Dr. Amun's live, right? And, you know, it's a trying time we're in right now, folks, across America, across the world. So listen, what you want to do now is get your friends, send them a tweet, you know, you can jump off the live, use your other phone, tell them at Dr._AMUN, at Dr. Amun, electricDocs live with electricDocs. We're going to have a conversation about a bunch of things. And if you're lucky, we may take some live questions in a little while. So if you've got some questions about your health, about COVID-19, about anything at all, health related, just lifestyle related, man, we can talk about anything. Everyone's on the lockdown, so we're just going to take this time to have a conversation with you folks. So electricDocs live. Get on, man. Get up. Get your friends over. Come on. Friends over here, man. We're going to have a session. We've got a bunch to get through. So before we start, you know, on the actual topics.
I want to say a prayer.
You wanna.
Man was trying to be serious, you know.
Did he not say
my serious face on that?
both him and Wujai both said,
Hey, prayer is
I
powerful.
looked at the camera with stern, like I wanted to be piercing, and that
Stoic.
man start chatting about we need to do prayer, man.
No, go ahead, Mikey. You know, go ahead, Mikey. You know, the line. I mean,
Well, I was only going to
absolutely.
ask, how are you doing, Dr. Amun?
Well, you know, I'm doing pretty good, you know, due to the situation that we're facing, you know, with this isolation and the pandemic of the coronavirus, you know, we're doing pretty, well, I'm doing pretty good. And I'll speak for all of us. We're doing pretty good at Electric Foods because, to be honest, we did and we have.
Not yet.
Not yet?
Not
Say
yet.
that? All right.
You asked me how you're doing.
I'm doing fine.
All I
I'm
said
doing
was
fine.
hello.
Yeah,
You know, this guy went on a full steak
let me-
dinner. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm doing
Skip
fine. Thank you.
straight
I'm
to
doing
the-
fine.
No,
I'm
Straight in.
I'm
straight
doing
to the
fine.
apple pie and the wine, you know.
Yeah.
All right.
I've been told about that from someone. you know.
Indeed. Dr.
Well,
Amsu, how you doing, mate?
Well, the coronavirus. The coronavirus. No, yeah. Tip top.
Sounds.
How you doing, Mikey?
Sound as a pants.
I'm not doing too badly. Now, I'll be honest, there's been a bit of a challenge. As you may not know, the electricDocs and our extended team, the Electric Food, and all of our affiliates, you know, we've kept working, right? We consider ourselves being on the front line, and we are making the medicine, we are making the conversations, we are still doing consultations, answering questions, and, you know, we're trying to get our nation healthy, right? So we've been on this 24/7 pretty much. We've been out here every day, either in the office, in our facility, sometimes working from home, keeping ourselves healthy, right? Keeping ourselves COVID-free. But, you know, we want to really, I guess, you know, kudos and big thanks to everyone that's been out there on the front lines because, you know, there's a lot of disparaging information going out there about, you know, some first responders, the way some hospitals are being run. You know, there are a lot of people that in positions of power, right? Governors, mayors, have got a lot of tough decisions to make. They've had to make a lot of tough decisions. And I'll be honest, we're in one of the larger metropolitan areas in America, Atlanta, Georgia. What's our population right now, Wujai? 5 point something million? It's grown maybe a bit more over the last few years or so.
Close to 6
You're
million.
dealing with Metro Atlanta.
Metro Atlanta,
Metro
even
Atlanta city
right.
itself.
And I don't know what your experience has been, guys, but my experience is that I've been able to get to work. I've been able to drive. I've been able to get petrol. I have been able to go to the store. I mean, most of them closing around 9 o'clock in the evening.
Let's turn the volume down on that.
And so despite the lockdown, I don't say it's, you know, the business as usual, But I think they've done a really good job, generally speaking, at keeping us active. So as Dr. Amsu's touching a black man's laptop, you know. You don't ever touch a black man's laptop, boy. I'm doing good. That was a long answer. So listen, people are dialing in. We've got a few topics to go through, right? First off. But listen, guys, you know, send your comments. We wave back at you, but we don't have our phones. We're doing this through a special system. And if you haven't noticed this, let's talk about this real quick. We here at electricDocs TV spare no expense. We've got a really, well, we believe it's an elaborate system. We have live camera switching. So you may see the camera angle move from time to time. This is not a recording. This is live. If you ask the questions, we'll be able to respond to you. So we just want to add a bit of dynamism to this. We're going to do a bunch of different things moving forward in the future. But really, it's all about engaging with you guys. It's about you. You know, we may talk a lot, but really it's about your questions and stuff. So, Ujah, are we ready? Do we have a lot of people in? Play that beat again, man. Let's get the vibe going up again, man. Let's get the vibe going up, man. Because look, we're in a lockdown. It's lockdown Wednesday.
He's smiling.
See, the doctor being all serious.
He's smiling. The guy loves the music. Look at him. He's smiling. He had that little cheeky face, you know, when you get like a toy.
If you don't like the beat, you're welcome.
If you like the beat, why are you trying to
welcome.
take
You know what to do? I think one day, we're going to do a freestyle Friday. We're going to get the docs out here spitting bars. And we'll get some of you guys on here spitting bars too, right?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that.
Yeah. Hey, so listen, folks. Once again, welcome electricDocs Live, electricDocs TV. We're here on Dr. Amun's Live with electricDocs, Dr. Amun, yours truly, Mr. Breaks. So listen, let's just jump straight in, guys. Coronavirus, COVID-19, and we're going to have a bit of a kill the noise moment here, right? You know, I'll let you guys break it down, but there's been a lot of news recently. The most, you know, what's the news cycle the last 24 hours has been the disparity in coronavirus illness, deaths, coronavirus cases in a number of metropolitan areas around America. And in fact, I was reading the Guardian newspaper from the UK. They're also reporting about this. What's going on? What are the true numbers? What are people been saying, docs? And let's cut through this and kill some of the noise about these numbers.
All right, so if you remember when we did our original Kill the Noise, we did a Kill the Noise because there were questions being asked or statements being put out there. One of the noise was that black people are immune to it, right? There were a lot of memes out there, a lot of stuff being circulated, propagated throughout social media platforms and all that stuff about black people being immune. So we basically said, yeah, we would love for that to be true, but in actual fact, when you look at who is most at risk of developing COVID-19 from the coronavirus are people with pre-existing conditions, and 2 out of those pre-existing conditions was diabetes type 2 and high blood pressure. Those 2 are where black people are gold medalists. We're leading the world. In that, especially in the United States, it's total disparity between the different races when it comes to diabetes type 2. Diabetes type 1 is more of a Caucasian disease, right? But late onset diabetes, which is caused because of bad, terrible, really bad diets and bad lifestyles.
It's a dietary disease.
Right? It's a metabolic disease and it's an autoimmune disease. But the autoimmune side of it is kicked in because of the bad diet. So yes, it's a bad diet that causes metabolic syndrome and also autoimmune disease.
So, and just we're going to jump off that as well, Dr. Amun, you can step in. So we're looking at, you know, the precursors to those conditions, right? So we know that there are people that have pre-existing conditions are more susceptible to it. And I want to get to you in a second, Dr. Amun, and talk about, you know, some of the precursors to that. But what exactly is it about those pre-existing conditions, Dr. Amsu, that make you susceptible? Is it just by way of having it? What's actually happening? What's behind it?
They compromise your immune system.
Right.
You're basically, they suppress or compromise your immune system. So our bodies have an immune system that consists of the lymphatic system. It also consists of immune cells and antibodies, right? So when that is compromised, we don't respond well enough, right? And it's the type of cells that actually do respond that can also create an issue. The immune cells that do respond, in particular, neutrophils and killer T cells. And when they become infected by the coronavirus, they go into a frenzy. And it's them that will cause, they'll kill the epithelial cells, which is the lining, the borders that protect cells and organs, right? And when they are compromised or they are destroyed, basically napalmed by killer T cells and neutrophils, now you're exposed to other bacteria that your body would normally fight off without any issue.
Right.
And that's when you get pus, mucus, and develop things like pneumonia. Right. Pneumonia is really the precursor to the cardiac arrest, heart attacks that's killing people.
Right. So, and thanks. So we're making the link
also,
there.
Also, oxygen. Right. Because the ability to get oxygen around the body is also compromised as well with those two conditions.
With those conditions. So, Dr. Amon, I want you to jump in here. So we talked about, some of the conditions that are out there, that people are having those conditions, and we're going to get to some of the, and we're going to get to some of the disproportionate, the demographics, the breakdown that we're getting now, the new numbers. But can you talk to some of those pre-existing conditions and what are the precursors to those conditions? So, right, what are you going to be doing that's going to lead you to have diabetes? And we talked, I think we didn't mention now, but we talked about obesity and things like that.
So what we have is a pandemic on top of existing pandemics.
Wow.
And the existing pandemics that we had, especially within the black community, was bad dietary, bad diet, bad lifestyle. We've said this for years. This is nothing new. We've said for years that as black people, we have a different anatomy. We metabolize food different from Europeans. We have a different GMO, our genetics are different. So therefore, we have to have a different lifestyle. So what we're seeing now is that it's a result of many years of abusing our body with sugar, fatty foods, refined sugar as well. So you've got sugar and then you've got refined sugar. Corn syrup.
Modified starch.
Right? And
let's not forget the food colors, the preservatives, the flavorings, the artificial flavorings.
Right. Processed food, okay? And let's fling it in there, weed, alcohol. These things play a factor as well. Drugs.
Crack.
Lack of exercise. Lack of drinking clear water.
Sedentary lifestyle.
Drinking clear water.
Sedentary lifestyle.
Right.
Sitting down all day.
So now, what we're seeing is that we have this pandemic with the coronavirus. And guess who's the number one victims? Now, not to say that all black people are. We're talking about black people that we have tried to educate over the years to say, change your lifestyle, change your diet, change your way of living. Because we do know that we have some disadvantages, like you said earlier. They don't build Whole Foods in the hood. We're lucky to get a Kroger's or a Publix. And then even in those stores, you get one little patch or one little section that has some form of health or healthy vegetables and fruits. But everywhere else on the main scale of the store is all processed food and things like that. So with our diet and our lifestyle, that's what's made us now vulnerable to this. That's what has made it, like the statistics that came out within the last 24 hours, declaring that this is now a black virus. It's a black pandemic. It's ridiculous. A virus does not differentiate, I'm going to a black person over a white person. The same way with HIV, I'm going to a homosexual to a heterosexual. No, a virus is going to find a human to host. And if I can host, I understand with the receptors, what you're going to say.
Nothing to do with that.
Right.
What was part of the conversation? Let's talk about the conversation that was being held. It was that, okay, black people are first respondents, like in a lot of these places where, black people are more exposed because of the type of jobs we have.
We're talking about the reasons why black people are being
exposed to coronavirus, right? That's the first factor. black people are being exposed more than anybody else because of the type of jobs we have. You know, a lot of first responders are black people.
There was the bus
right?
driver.
The
that
bus
died.
drivers. You know, you got paramedics. You got nurses. You know, because this is the thing. If you travel down, I haven't been to the west coast of this country much, or even to the Midwest, right? I've been to Illinois. I've been to Chicago. I haven't been to Detroit yet. You know, I'm coming though. Family up there. Mr. Come, right? Well, not soon. When this is all over, let's get it right. But on the East Coast, if you travel down the East Coast and you go to hospitals while you travel down the East Coast, you go to hospitals and even to the administrations of cities and towns, whatever, you'll find a lot of black women, especially.
Yeah, the receptionist,
right.
The first line of contact, like you said, is going to be a black
African
American.
You know, nurses, a lot in the healthcare system, a lot of NPs, nurse practitioners, and RN registered nurses, they're black women, right? So these are the people who are handling patients when they, you know, porters as well, people who handle patients when they want to get tested or whatever. And remember, there was an issue with the personal protective equipment, PPEs, the gloves, the face masks, that kind of stuff. They weren't readily available, right? So we were more exposed as black people to the coronavirus. We have been more exposed in our line of work. Then there is once infected, or once you're exposed to it, what are the chances of becoming infected? That's where these pre-existing conditions play a major factor, because everybody could be exposed to it, but it's how well your body protects itself from infection, what we're talking about. So we've said, it seems, and those who have done clinical studies so far of how the virus has been operating, epidemiologists and that, they're saying it doesn't seem to be affecting young people, young healthy people, like it is with people with pre-existing conditions and older people, right? Older people. So even though that is the case, there are people walking around who may be diabetic, don't know they're diabetic.
And that's another thing, it's a good point, because a lot of the numbers are coming in.
They might have high blood pressure, but they haven't had their blood pressure taken.
And another thing, we're talking about obesity, clinical obesity, is that a lot of people, because of their physical build, are clinically obese, but they don't look it, because maybe they've got a bit of muscles on them, right? But their BMIs, there's a number. So I think what Dr. Am's saying is there are a number of conditions that people may have and not even realize it, that makes them more susceptible to this. But going back to that conversation we had a bit of a heated conversation earlier on, because we're trying to pull all these numbers together. And Dr. Am apologized. We forgave him for that.
I apologize for whooping that ass.
But here's the challenge we have, right, globally, and in America, absolutely, definitely, is that when we look at these disparities in Afro-American communities and a lot of communities around America, there are precursors, there are reasons why, African-American people are more likely to be in those jobs, right, in those roles. And that goes all the way back to disparity in education, opportunities for, six-figure jobs, equal opportunities for jobs, college applications, college acceptance, and so on and so forth. So we look at the socio-economic conditions of the African-American community generally, which puts them more at risk. Now, you couple that with the neighborhoods they're living in, right? With the areas they're living in, the stores they get in those areas, the resources that they have, the food deserts that they live in. All of these things put together create a very toxic soup of inadequate lifestyle, right?
Absolutely.
And so there are two areas here, and this is part of our debate. And the debate is this: you have a choice as a human being as to what you eat, what you drink, how you think, who you speak with, who you associate with, absolutely. However, if you've been disenfranchised from good choices, right, from access to quality food, quality water, quality education, you're less likely, A, to make good choices, and B, even if you are someone that makes good choices, you're going to choose from what you have. If you live in small town, I'm going to pick a state, small town Alabama, right? The nearest Whole Foods might be 56 miles or something, or, organic food store, maybe, really far away. You're not going to get access to quality food. So I don't want to completely excuse people from making poor choices. However, I think we want to factor in both things, right? So yes, I think a lot of people have made really poor lifestyle decisions in what they eat and how they in how they live generally, but a lot of it is due also to what they've had access to. And I think a lot of these numbers are coming out, and it's really exposing, and not just in America, across the Western world, that these neighborhoods, these towns, these socioeconomic conditions have made it so that black people become more susceptible. And as Dr. Amsi broke down last week on the Kill the Noise, and even on the breakdown we did on coronavirus, had all things been equal, black people should be less susceptible because of the ACE2 receptors. But because of the socioeconomic condition, we've now become more susceptible. So it's not a physical thing. It's not because coronavirus is picking on blacks. Coronavirus, as I said, Dr. Amun said, will settle anywhere it's giving access to. And we're giving access to it by being immune compromised.
Right,
Right?
immunocompromised.
Right.
Right. And you know, there's a very famous doctor who said coronavirus is not the real issue here, even though it is a real issue. The real issue that's being exposed now is being immunodeficient, being immunosuppressed, being immunocompromised. So the veil that is being lifted is that, well, you know what, we've been trying to tell people for years.
Well, this is the conversation.
Fix yourself up.
Right, but
make the healthy choice in foods, because we speak about our own children all the time. That
right.
we try to educate our children. They're not from the hood because we took them out. We've taken them out of the hood. We progressed out of the hood and into middle class America, middle America, into good education system where they've had access, but they still eat like niggers. And when we say niggers, we're talking about the most derogatory term that we give for the state of our people.
You see, one of the things is that when your immune system is compromised, whether it's corona, whether it's the flu, whether it's HIV, you are basically exposed to all viruses out there, okay? So we have been trying to educate over and over again. Take charge of your life. Eat your fruits, your vegetables, your grains. Sugar and having high levels of sugar in the blood, that compromises your immune system. It also inhibits your vitamin E, your vitamin C, your vitamin D, your vitamin A. All of these vitamins are triggers that boost your immune system, okay? Helps the lymphatic system rid toxicity from the body. All of these things work hand in hand. So people, I can't stress or get across. I mean, this is like, now we're faced with this pandemic. Now, at any time of you've been following us from when we did our first interview, you see it. Our philosophy is we've said as black people, we have a different anatomy. We metabolize food different. We have different genealogy. We are different in that respect, that we need to eat different. And now, right now, we have a pandemic and we need to take charge of our lives. Right now, that slogan, that saying that we always, I can't stress how much right now in this day and time, you need to step up. You need to step up.
Take charge of your life. Yeah.
Take charge of your life.
Absolutely.
You really do.
Absolutely. And listen, folks, and you've heard it here. I'm sure we're going to get questions on this, and keep the questions coming in. We're on Dr. Amun's live, so punch them in there, of course. We will be recording this and uploading it to electricDocs TV on YouTube, and we'll probably scrub this and get it on IGTV. Well, I guess in segments, 15-minute segments, as much as we can get out there. So if you have questions, drop them in either on the YouTube, or you can drop them in to helpme@theelectricdocs.com. Helpme@theelectricdocs.com with your questions. So listen, we're sticking with coronavirus. Before we jump into the questions, there's been a lot of comments in recent times around 5G. We're going to jump in there. And look, there are still a lot of facts to come out about the 5G rollout, what it's doing. There are a lot of things we know. There are a lot of things we don't know. But there's been a lot of conjecture. There's been a lot of talk about it. And one of the things I'd really like the docs to just discuss really, and maybe kill the noise on or clear up, is, a very simple one. Is 5G the coronavirus? And I guess it answers two questions. is the coronavirus real, and is 5G it? Is there a one-to-one correlation between 5G and the coronavirus? I don't know which one of you wants to do that.
Absolutely not. Now, this is what really infuriates us, right? Especially as black people. As black people, we're too gullible. We're too gullible. We don't know. Yesterday, we didn't know shit about 5G. Now we're experts, and it's that our cause corona. No, 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 right? Coronavirus attacks primarily the respiratory system, right? The health risks of 5G that have been put out there, look at the actual health risks of 5G that the experts put out. None of them were respiratory symptoms. None of them were. Yes, headaches, migraines, fatigue. Nothing was respiratory, right? So if nothing is respiratory, don't put the two together. There's people talking about 5G. The radiation is, there's no virus. Now there's no virus.
Right, the virus isn't real.
There ain't no virus. What it is that your cells have got toxins in them.
Let's talk about that.
Right? And the 5G is pushing the toxins out of your cells. And when it pushes it out of the cells, that's what's making you sick. Now, I'm a critical thinker here.
Right.
So there's a saying we have, better out than in.
Absolutely.
If you've got toxins in your cells, guess what? That's how you get infection, because it's in the cell. So when the toxins are released out of your cells, guess what? Now they have to be flushed out. They're no longer infecting the cells. So if they were already in the cells, that means you would have been
sick already.
Right? So that talk, kill it, because it's stupid. And when you forward that kind of nonsense, right, don't send it to me. If you send it to me, I'm going to tell you about your blood clot. If you send that foolishness to me, right? Because it's not making any sense. So yes, we have to investigate 5G as the health risks, right? But nothing to do with coronavirus.
Thank you, Dr. Hamson.
Thank you. Let me calm down now. You know what I mean? I was going to take both of you out.
Listen, people, there are two separate entities that both are causing risk to our health. Let's not escape that. 5G is causing damage. The radiation, the EMF frequency and radiation does affect. Like Dr. Hamson said, it doesn't attack the respiratory. It does attack the brain. It does attack DNA. It does attack your immune system. Okay, the coronavirus is very real. All right, and is attacking now your gut as well as your respiratory system. Two separate entities that are damaging and attacking us or putting us under health risk. But one thing I will say is this: people are complaining about 5G, but let's do this. One, the coronavirus actually disrupted the rollout of 5G because all these factories were closed. Okay, there was no one working there to receive the equipment.
You're talking about the notion that the coronavirus epidemic was put in place so that they could keep everyone indoors.
Well, this is what they're saying, right? So they could roll up, but it's had the adverse effect. Now they're seeing normal workers like downtown, people of videotaping, they're putting up the towers of 5G when these guys are actually working on apartment complexes, right? Working on hotels. They got nothing to do with 5G, okay? Then there's everyone's at home. Everyone's utilizing Netflix, Amazon Prime, YouTube, Hulu. Zoom, Hulu. What speed do you think is getting at?
Right.
What do you think that is?
On their phones.
On their phone.
Even in their houses.
Right. Are they falling down? No, my point is though, are they falling down dead? Are they falling out?
And here's another factor, right? One of the health risks of radio frequencies, right? We're dealing with right up until 5G, everything was within a certain bandwidth, right?
Radio waves.
Certain frequency, certain wavelengths, right? In 5G, now we've moved into millimeter wave, right? Millimeter wave technology, where it's going to be a whole separate. It's like we've all been in the same building. Now another building has been built, or say you're on the highway, right? You have this, and it's crammed. It's full of cars. Instead of taking cars the road, they build a whole nother highway with another 8 lanes. This is your 5G, right? Now, the health risks of 5G are more potent on children. The risk is higher on the developing brain, right? So with coronavirus, how many infants have we been told about that have died or contracted or gotten ill from coronavirus? How many?
That's an excellent point.
You're not hearing about it because it's not so, right? A lot of virologists have said it appears that children are invincible. That's the virologists, not what we're saying. What the experts are saying. So 5G is radiation that's going to go through everybody.
Right.
It's going to go through everybody. And those who have not developed, the central nervous system has not been developed correctly. The enteric nervous system has not been developed because they're still infants and they're the most vulnerable. So they would have been the sickest.
Right. And again, let's just make it clear. We're not saying 5G is healthy. We're not promoting 5G. We're just trying to apply common sense here. That 5G and corona, or 5G is not the coronavirus. They're two separate entities.
5G is because of you.
Right.
It's because of us. Because we want to stream about it, buffering
There
up.
you go. I was just about
Sorry,
to say
bro.
that. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah,
I'm just
no,
So let's. No, this is.
I was the government that's the ones that's actually demanding more bandwidth. We want, what's the word? Everything to be convenient.
Right.
Right? So a touch of the button, we want that download. A touch of the button, we want to send or receive data. A touch of a button, we want to see a video or hear music. Okay? We don't want latency. Right?
What's the new term? Internet.
IoT, Internet of Things. So
right.
I was going to say that. So, hey guys, once again, you're watching electricDocs Live. We're on Dr. Amon's Live. Dr. Ams is here. You're surely Mr. Breaks. We're having a wide discussion. If you've got any questions, drop them into the IG, Dr. Amon's IG, and our man Wajal here will try and get them to us. We're talking right now about 5G and coronavirus. And, I was watching a video on the 5G and they were saying that, every iteration of technology with regards to advancements in radio technology in particular has spawned some kind of epidemic. They said that, the Spanish flu in the 1980s because of the rollout of radio and, there was some other, I can't remember them all.
Right.
But here's the thing, and that may very well be the case. The jury's out on that. We could do a lot of extensive research and find out the truth there. But, the truth of the matter is we are bombarded by radio waves naturally. Radio waves and radio frequency occurs around us naturally. We've got gamma rays that are probably the most dangerous rays that are flying through the universe that we have little to no protection from. Now, here's the thing, though, that a lot of these really powerful radio waves that are being transmitted around now can have an adverse effect and do have an adverse effect.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
we've really got to look at the numbers and the data and the facts. And ironically, one of the things about 5G is that because they've shortened the channel lengths, the width of the channels, and we'll talk about this on another show, right? Is that they've increased the bandwidth, but to do that, they've had to reduce the amount of latency checks. And so it's actually reduced the potency of the 5G, which is why you have to have so many cell towers now, because the strength of it is actually less than 4G or LTE, long-term evolution.
Shorter distance. Right.
And even definitely radio. Shortwave radio waves can travel the length of the Earth, bouncing off the ionosphere. So you've got to look at it and be factual about it. So again, we're not saying that 5G is good. We're not just saying it's bad, but I think when utilized properly. But jumping onto the IoT things very quickly, because you made a point about people wanting to stream and having the convenience.
Internet of Things.
Right. What the Internet of Things is doing is really it's a philosophy that is really calling for everything to be connected to the internet. Not just your cell phone or your laptop, but your fridge, your TV, your watch,
hey Google,
your car,
turn off all the lights.
Right. Every probably electronic device and even
security
some
systems,
everything connected to the internet. And by that way, what they can do is now offer you greater control over your environment, and you can control your fridge from out the phone. You get an app and you can turn the lights off and out. These are all great conveniences, and I think a lot of them will jump at them. There's a couple that I would have, but that comes at a cost, right? You have to have the infrastructure to enable that. Another thing that's been going on as well, we have something called smart meters, and what smart meters are. Everyone has a electric meter in the house or a gas meter.
Right.
And, some people they use water meter, right? And electric meter in the house or a gas meter. Right. And some people they use water meter, right? And these have cables, usually if the telephone wires running to the central station, or they're standalone. Someone comes around once a month and reads your meter. We've all that the dog chasing the guy coming to read the meter, right? What they've done now, they're putting in small radio transmitters or cell transmitters so they can broadcast the readings from your meter straight to the central office, right? And those meters could now, they've got electronics in them, they can measure how much water you use, when you use water, when you have your bath and so on and so forth. They're smart meters. They can, take all that metadata and crunch it, and they can learn about how you live and how we all live. Now, a lot of us don't know about that. That's something that's happened. You could say it's nefariously, but others can say, well, it's just the growth. It's technology. It's inevitable. And as Dr. Amun was saying, we're clamoring for it. So before we start off with the hysteria, let's really understand the facts about each of these.
And I think,
let's not group them together. Let's understand each.
Right. And I think one more thing people have to understand, 5G, yes, it's very detrimental to the human body, but it's also detrimental to our living, our plant system, our trees, our bees, our birds, okay, with this radiation and this particular frequency. They're going to suffer. So the planet is going to suffer, and it's like a downhill effect. So,
but let's be fair. Let's be fair. Though. It's not just 5G. Radio waves. Anyway.
Period.
Anyway.
Overall. So, I mean, we just got a question. All right, and I'm going to let Dr. Amsu answer it because I am not...
No, let him ask it.
Yeah, go on, Mikey. Answer the question.
So it sounds as though we're done with 5G for a minute. I'm sure we're going to get back there. I didn't know we're done. This guy was segueing to something else.
I know we're finished.
Oh, I mean...
But that is a great point, though, right? So, let's talk about the ecosystem of the world, right? And we talk about our food, and I think they recently made a link to the bees dying and to.
So the bees and these particular instances, like the bees, if they die...
But they've been dying off before 5G was rolled out.
Right.
So we can go all the way back to GSM.
Right.
We can go back to,
GSM, 1G, 2G, 3... I mean, again, people are just getting caught up with the wrong things.
Yes, but I guess, again, I think what Dr. Amsa is saying is, to be fair, right? We've got to look at this holistically, for a better term, right? And so, look, 5G may or may not be doing this particular thing. 3G may have started that 12 years ago, 15 years ago. The fact of the matter is, and I think, Dr. Amsa, you made a great point when we were having our discussion that I won earlier on, is that people don't protest when they bring in smart meters. People don't protest when they're lobbying to put up more cell towers and more high energy electrical transmission poles in your neighborhood. People don't protest when they're building nuclear power stations. People don't protest when they're using pesticides in your food and they're putting chemicals into the air. People don't protest those things, but they want to protest if the TV goes down or the cell phone goes down or certain shows are taken off the TV. We're looking at the wrong things. Our health is our wealth, and our health is linked inextricably. If you want a one-to-one correlation, there's a one-to-one correlation between the ecosystem of the planet and our individual health. So if you want to care, and you want to protest about something, start to look at your food. You don't protest when they're building cheap supermarkets in your neighborhood. They're pumping your neighborhood with processed foods.
Let's be real. If you want to be real,
I'm trying to be real.
Yeah, look. A couple of months ago, before this corona pandemic, someone got shot. A human life got taken. You know why? Because they went in front of someone else, pushed in front of the line to get a Popeye's chicken burger, the new Popeye's chicken burger. You guys don't remember that?
Yeah.
Right?
I heard.
Right? The lines were down the road. Mm-hmm. Not even real chicken. This is not even real chicken. This is the problem. It was full of black people lining up to get Popeye's chicken, right? No, all jokes aside. This is the shit that we're talking about. You're lining up to eat junk. You're gonna be junk. And then guess what? A coronavirus comes and now you're like, oh, it's taking out the coronavirus for black. No, they created the damn fast food for black people because they know we're too damn lazy to cook. They know we're too lazy to cook, and this is what we're trying to get across. If you eat junk, you're gonna be junk. And that's the simple fact of it, and that's what you're saying. When you try to do the correlation between us and nature, we are supposed to be in tune with nature. We're supposed to eat to keep on the same vibration with nature, to be in tune. So when these pandemics come, we're prepared. That's our true system,
that's
you know?
The true preparation.
That's the truth. The food is our... That's the truth. The food is our...
Compromised and breached.
Sorry about that. The food is our medicine.
One more time. Knock it again.
We've said it so many times. Food is our medicine, people. Food is our medicine. Yes, we take supplementation. Yes, we do exercises. Yes, we do meditation. But our food is our medicine. It is our medicine.
The last thing that I wanted to say about 5G was this: is that you have all these people memeing and soundbiting and send out videos and all this stuff about 5G. But you know, I saw one today where who was military.
Right.
Most technology that we trickles down to us has already been through the military. They've used it up, and it's like, all right, can we make this commercialized now? You see what I'm saying? But military already got their hands on it, so it's not surprising. And people say, "Oh man, that's a military weapon." Yes, everything that we have
is usually,
especially in the United States, know that it's been weaponized already. You know what I mean? Even microwaves were weaponized before we got it as, you know, you can heat your food up in this shit. You see what I'm saying? So here's the thing, is that people are talking about nanotechnology. So now it's gone from 5G into nanotechnology, and that there's nanotechnology in the water, it's in the grass, it's in the chickens.
They're going to put it in the vaccine. That's why they want to have vaccination.
And then they're gonna vaccine. If it's nanotechnology, you can buy, you know how many people buy the sodas. If it's nanotech, that means that it's 10 to the minus 9 meters, right? So it's so small, you're not gonna see it. Even with a powerful microscope, you're not gonna see it. So basically, we're fucked.
So
nanotechnology is in the ecosystem. Well, we're already fucked.
Yeah, well, nanotechnology is real, but it's not. When you say nano, it's a nickname. It's not actually 10 to minus 9. It's not actually that small, but what they do have nanotechnology programs out there. But again, just because nanotechnology exists, that doesn't mean. No, I'm helping you.
No, man, nanometer. What's a nanometer?
Stay in your lane.
I'm just speaking. I'm translating Latin over here, right? Nanometer.
And you're right, exactly. But I'm saying nanotechnology does exist. But again, what we were talking about is about the facts. Just because a technology exists doesn't mean they're using it in your neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Just because the technology exists doesn't mean that it's live at play. But just wanted to share. So Jason Hargrove was the bus driver that died. I believe it was in Virginia. He was on CNN. He talked about he's working the buses. We're talking about black people being on the front line doing a lot of these jobs. Someone came and coughed on him, and then basically a week later he died from COVID-19.
How old was he? How old was he?
I can find out in a second.
And pre-existing condition. What did
he didn't. He was black. No, I'm joking. And we can delve into that. I just want to his name. But listen, so again, we're doing the conspiracy theories, and let's just answer this question. Someone asked. In fact, let me see if I can get the name of the person that asked. We'll give you guys a shout out. It was Berries and Fruits. Asked, was the coronavirus created to kill black people?
All right, let me start on that, and then you can jump in, because I know you wanted to jump in, but I'm gonna block you up. Hey, brethren, right? So my question to Berries and Fruits is, what if it was? What are you gonna do? And you know why I'm asking that? Right?
Question, right?
Real question. What would black people do if we found out COVID-19 or coronavirus, novel coronavirus, was actually made to target black people? What would we do? We would wait for Rizza Islam or Farrakhan to start saying something about it. We'd wait. That's what we would do. We'd wait to see what them other folks are gonna do. So somebody's got to run with this. There's so many people who try to say, yeah, we got to unite. All right, start something then. Then they don't start anything. They're waiting for somebody else to do it, right? So we've been talking about taking charge of your life, to eat correctly, have the correct lifestyle. That's somewhere to start, right? Because coronavirus has not, we know a lot of black people who got coronavirus, COVID-19, and were mild and got over it, no death, got over it. And they took their blood to go and use to help to cure other people, right, with coronavirus. So if you've been tested positive for coronavirus, it doesn't mean you're gonna get COVID-19. COVID-19 is the infection of your cells. So we all might be sitting in there, right, with and test positive. We may all test positive, but how it affects our cells, breaching our cells, is another story. So this,
That's the immune
if
system.
it was created to attack black people, why are white people dying? Why are
Exactly.
Chinese people dying?
Exactly.
Why are Indians dying? Mexicans, you know
Right.
what I mean? Out of Mongolia, you know what I mean? Out of Mongolians, why are they
But you know, can we
dying?
just jump on that point as well about, you know, let's just say that it was created in lab to kill, I guess, people of color.
So the
is what
answer
we're
is
hearing.
no, berries and fruits.
Right. You know, what we've shown here and what we've told people before,
Is nuts.
right, is that
Oh, it's a question. Don't mean that they think it's true. They're asking us if what we think.
I said no.
and you know, one of the phrases, I don't know what movie it's from, is never give your enemy a loaded gun, right? And if the root or, you know, the ammunition is that, you know, with your acquired immune deficiency, can I use that term? Right, with your with being immune compromised, right, with your diet, with your pre-existing conditions, with obesity, with the sugars, with the salts, with the processed foods, you're handing them a loaded gun. So, if we believe, or if we think there may be even an outside chance that there's some nefarious activity going on where diseases are being created to kill us, and they're targeting those amongst us who are weak, let's try not to be weak. Let's try to not be weak.
I mean,
Exactly.
Let's fix that.
Again,
That part of ourselves.
we
Go ahead,
turn
Dr.
around, we say your immune system, 75 to 80% of your immune system is in your GI tract. We talk about the microbiomes, we talk about the good flora, we talk about bad bacteria versus good bacteria, keeping a balance, okay? And we can't stress enough that once that is compromised, once your gut flora, the microbiome system is compromised, then that is your immune system. There is a line, right, between your small intestine and what I call the toxic sewer. And once that gets impeded, it's a wrap. So things like coronavirus, any flu virus, you are now exposed to it. So I guess my personal point I want to get across to everyone on my life today is your food. Is your food, because your food is your medicine. This is what us, the electricDocs, myself, Dr. Amsu, we've been pushing this for many years if you followed us. It's your food. Your food is your medicine. I can't stress that enough. So when I hear about 5G, but then you're sitting there with a hot wing in your mouth, or
Takis,
or
You're
smoking on the
buying your
hookah,
children Takis
and
or
Krispy Kreme
or
donut.
Cheetos and whatever.
I'm like,
You know, 'cause
why are you worried about 5G?
When people started panic buying, the chips aisle was empty. It was bare.
Right.
Because you all went out to Walmart and to Kroger and to Publix and all them places, and instead of buying healthy foods, you bought all the convenience foods.
Right.
All the processed foods were gone.
Now,
People were almost
let me just
fighting
jump
over
in
it.
here.
And that's the issue, was giving you diabetes. That's the issue, was giving you high blood pressure, giving you gout, arthritis, heart disease, strokes, stuff that we've been talking about for years.
So let me just jump in here. Now, I want to get this clear too. If you can afford to spend over $100 on groceries, then you can make a conscious decision to buy healthy food. I know there's some people out there are struggling now. It's hard times. And we need to come together as a community to help those people, because they might want to eat healthy, but they just don't have the money, right? So I'm not blanking everyone like that. But if you are going out there like in the Krogers and the Publix and the Walmarts, and you're spending over $100 or $150, and it is of those points, we're talking to you. You're the people, you need to take responsibility of that, because that's not good enough. That is some BS.
And can I jump on that as well? Because we're talking about food being your medicine. We got a question here from Jaguar36. The question got cut off, but I don't know if it's a man or woman. It said that they're a vegan. They're a vegan nurse.
I'm gonna assume it's a woman.
Well, no, I mean, it could be a male nurse. But anyway, they're vegan and they're a nurse.
I'm gonna assume
it's a woman.
It's a woman.
No.
And they said that they don't eat dairy. But they've got COVID-19, and they didn't fully answer their question. But I'm thinking here, you might want to tie this into, there's this handle, vegan, and maybe I guess the assumption is that if you're vegan, then you do. I mean, listen, you're definitely trying. You know, thumbs up, kudos for that. But can we break down a little bit about just the label vegan and just saying vegan is good enough? What might he or she be doing?
A lot of people have, and I'm not saying you, Jaguar 36, not at all. But a lot of people who have crossed over into becoming vegans, they still eat convenient foods, processed foods that lack nutrition.
Absolutely.
The reason why we eat is for nutrients to feed our cells. Period. The only reason why we eat or drink is to satisfy nutrients that deplete in our bodies. So we want to keep them at a certain level, just like you drive them at a certain level, just like you drive your car, you got to fuel your car, right? What you fuel your car with is going to determine how well it runs. So if you eat sub-optimum foods, even if you are a vegan and you're not eating meat anymore, and you're not eating dairy, but you substituted it for soy, for vegan, what's it called?
Beyond Meat,
nutritional yeast, and all the host
wheat,
of burgers and
gluten,
stuff that you can go and buy from the freezer because you're a vegan now, and now you're gonna get
corn,
right?
wheat,
QUORN, corn, and all that kind of stuff. Know
agave,
that they are going to cause your body pathology.
Absolutely,
it's going to cause pathology in your body. So it's not just all right. I'm cutting out meat and dairy. It's are you eating enough whole plant foods? Are you eating enough fruit? Are you eating enough vegetables? Are you eating enough seeds? Are you eating enough nuts? Are you doing all these things? Are you drinking enough water? Are you providing your body with the nutrients it needs? Are you getting enough vitamin D? We have this saying, are you getting enough D? And we're talking about vitamin D, right? Very essential. Do you get enough sun? Are you getting enough exercise? So there's a whole lifestyle that we talk about. The diet is like, all right, everybody likes to eat. We like to eat. So that's the first thing, that's our first line. Then it goes into, how do you shower? When do you sleep? How much sleep do you get? Are you sleeping at, how much sleep do you get? Are you sleeping at night or are you sleeping during the day? Because a lot of nurses, we know, especially if they work in hospitals, they're on night shift. When you work night shift, you're fucked. Sorry for the language, but night shift workers are fucked because their serotonin, melatonin cycles are jacked up. So their cellular respiration, which takes place, is jacked up. It doesn't happen. There's a time, the circadian rhythm is based around when we eat, when we sleep,
when we study,
right?
when we
and
exercise.
Serotonin, which is active during the daytime, and melatonin, which helps with cellular respiration when we're in deep REM sleep at night, when the mitochondria slows down. But when you're working at night, you should be sleeping the whole cycle. So now when your cells are supposed to slow down and melatonin kicks in, it's bright outside. So your body's not getting the nutrients into the cells and it's not flushing out toxins. So it leaves you immunocompromised.
Right. A lot of vegans don't understand the malnutrition. They're suffering from malnutrition. Right? That's it in a nutshell. And you don't escape it. Melatonin, that actually helps to radiation, right? Things like that. So just because you're vegan or plant-based, you don't escape these things. There's a science to this food. There's a science to it's not a simple fact of just buying food out there because it's labeled organic or it's labeled vegan. No.
It's a start.
It's a start, but you got to educate yourself. And I hope that when you follow us, electricDocs, that we are providing, we're doing the best we can to provide this information. So you have to know how to prepare your food. You have to know food combinations. You have to know what to cook with it, what not to cook with it, when to cook with it, when to eat it, when not to eat it. You got to know all of these things because you have to understand your body and get in tune with your body. And if you're not, this is where the problem comes. This is when our becomes compromised. And again, we cannot stress or get across enough today that people, please stop the bad eating, stop the sugar intake. Jesus Christ, leave that sugar alone. Craving for sugar is a deficiency of your hormones. It's also a deficiency of your neurotransmitters. It compromises everything with your immune system. And right now, your immune system is your Jesus. Your immune system is your Allah. Your immune system is your El Elo, your Buddha. Listen, I don't care what religion or spiritual paths you're on. We respect them all. But whatever you grip onto, that immune system has to be there. Your number one priority. So please, people, understand. Take care and leave that damn sugar alone. Leave it alone.
Yes. Hey, listen. Are you going to say something, Dr. Amsu?
No,
No. And Dr. Amun, great message. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Great message, folks. So listen, you're watching electricDocs Live. We're on Dr. Amun's live right now. We're here with Dr. Amsu, of course, Dr. Amun, and yours truly, doing live. Listen, guys, and we're going to, I don't know if you can put a message in there, Mujao. We're going to be uploading this to electricDocs TV on YouTube. You guys need to go along to electricDocs TV and subscribe, whatever that, you guys point down, whatever it is, wherever the button is. Subscribe to electricDocs TV on YouTube. You also need to follow electricDocs on IG. So you may be following Dr. Amun now, you may follow, maybe all of us, but if you could please follow electricDocs on IG, because we'll be putting out a lot of information. And
well, let me tell you this.
Go ahead.
You need to follow and send your DMs to the electricDocs to get food tips. Don't send them to us anymore. Send them there and we'll answer them from that DM.
Oh, at electricDocs.
Yeah.
At electricDocs. Okay, so you heard it live here. So if you need food tips and advice on
ways
health,
to boost your immune system.
Ways to boost the immune system, you send that, DM that to electricDocs on Instagram. So listen, we're here, we're doing an impromptu live Q&A with the electricDocs, and we've had a great discussion. We've talked about 5G, coronavirus. Coronavirus is the thing of the moment. But we have some questions here. I was going to jump in. We had a question from Bro Panther. And he asked, can you explain what a cytokine storm is in a short layman way, please?
No, it's too deep, yo. It's too deep. No. So basically, you're in play that signals to immune cells to come into action.
Right.
And this is called cytokines or cytokines, depending on what side of the pond you're from. So we'll call it cytokines, right? So cytokines are basically the communication. It's like, we communicate with our phones, right? The signaling is from cytokines to each immune cell, right? So when you become infected with any virus or pathogen, the cytokines basically alerts immune cells, all right, we have an invader, seek and destroy, right? With coronavirus, what's happening is that immune cells are being attacked by the coronavirus, and then they are basically signaling to each other with these cytokines that we're under attack. Everybody, come. Send all the troops. Send backup. Send everybody. So it's basically a frenzy. A cytokine storm is basically your immune system going crazy, hysterical, pandemonium in your immune system. So it calls for all these immune cells to come, and they start, they release chemicals, enzymes, which attack
Trying to kill anything.
everything
and anything.
I mean,
right? So whether it's a healthy cell or a compromised or infected cell, it's gonna get destroyed. And this is called autoimmune disease. This is when you're dealing with autoimmune, is when it starts to attack healthy cells, right? You're now in an autoimmune situation, right? And that is what compromises the body and leaves it open to infections, and people become septic. When it's local, right? It's a local issue, like what's going on with the respiratory illnesses. It's going on in your lungs. But when it spreads to other in your lungs, when it causes a storm, now they're attacking all kinds of organs.
Right.
Now you're open to infection. That's when you get septic and you're in that bubble. No one can go in there for risk that either you're going to die or you're going to infect them or something like that.
In a nice layman term is, tornadoes, they have an eye of the storm, as they're called, and that's the quiet period. And that's where Corona does. It sits down for a quiet period of time. And then once it triggers, or these cytokines realize there's been an invasion, this is where the tornado comes. And as you know, a tornado, it starts wiping out everything. Goes through the whole city. So imagine your city. So imagine your body is your
Identity.
dad ever a Rasta? Not really.
He was a Rasta.
Was
Your dad's ever a Rasta? Ask the question. Not really. That means he kind of was. Are we live?
How many people?
4. Put two more on that, bro. Sorry. I'll take it though. We're getting there. That's coming out, son.
All right, we're on.
It's coming out.
Okay, Mikey breaks.
Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome back. Sorry about that, technical issues. As you know, YouTube is a cluster of greatness, and we're so glad that we have it. IG. Are we on YouTube? Okay, on YouTube. Okay, IG.
It's getting late, y'all.
Yeah.
It's getting late. It's breaking down.
What's up, Detroit? Anyway, so listen, we're back here. We were talking about coronavirus and a bunch of things. We're talking about cytokines. Dr. Amun was on his soapbox. Great soapbox. We enjoyed that. But listen, they're going to kick us off this channel, so we're going to wrap it up a little bit. So, Dr. Amun, if you mind, I mean, both of you guys, let's talk about some solutions. Let's talk about, some things that people can do at home. Maybe some of the things they can get from us, right? Just generally, you may not be a customer of ours, but let's talk about some good stuff, some solutions people can pick up.
With every storm, they always say there's a silver lining, okay? So,
Or in every cloud.
Or in every cloud, right? Yeah, in every cloud there's a silver lining.
I wasn't going to correct you, but...
Yeah, thank you for the correction.
Had I corrected, I would say
right.
cloud.
Well, there you go. In every cloud, there's a silver lining. And I guess the silver lining here is that a lot of people are being forced, or they're now spending a lot more time with their family and their loved ones, and they're learning more and more about each other.
I don't think that's a solution. I think that's a problem, mate.
No.
I'm ready to kill somebody at my house.
Well, listen, not everyone. I'm talking, I'm saying in the respect that now what you should be doing is learning more things about your loved ones, your children, and at board games. Don't always be on the PS4, the Xbox. Get some board games, play some chess, Hangman.
Hangman.
Yeah.
What decade are you in, bruv?
Do you know that game, Hangman?
We know the game Hangman.
So the game Hangman is that.
Hangman.
Do you know what I mean when I say
Scrabble,
Hangman?
man.
I mean the Scrabble, the
Monopoly.
the
Conquers.
taboo. But Hangman, listen, Hangman, I think.
Paper, scissors, might as well.
Listen, I think Hangman, the new version of Hangman, it's a good game. You got questions and you got the board and the people who gets the most
Operation.
You know what I mean? You draw and boom, you hang. That's it. I mean, look. All right, maybe bad choice of words, but
No, it's good.
The point I'm trying to make is
You're old.
do exercise with your family, because you're forced now to be isolated. But let's get down to the meat and veg. What you really want is to get these tips on the food. You want to heighten the intake of fruit. Okay, you want your kiwi, pineapple, mango, your blood oranges, your grapes, seeded grapes, okay, watermelon with black seeds, with the white seeds, you want the black seeds, all right, you want your cantaloupe, you want your coconut water, you want your pears, and make sure the fruit is organic. If it's not organic, then listen, we're in a pandemic. Just make sure you wash it thoroughly, okay? You can wash it with some distilled or fresh spring water. Put some baking soda in there, and a squeeze of lime or lemon, okay, to make sure that any form of germs or bacteria or pesticides there is it gets killed. And these are for people that maybe can't afford to get the organic food, but they only can get what they are privileged to. So make sure you're washing your food, the greens, your vegetables, soak the grains 12 to 24 hours prior to eating it. All of these things, again, I cannot stress, we've said this from day one, from 5 to 10 years ago. So, keep these practicing. Do your exercises in the morning, do your qigong, do your breathing exercises, do some meditation, do it collectively with the family. You can't go for walks, but read books like someone be, the mother, someone who will read a book to tell the story to the whole family. Do things like that. Use this time to learn from each other, to do things with each other, to occupy, learn, talk, have conversations. A lot of people don't talk within the black community, even though myself and Dr. Amsu, we don't stop talking, but there's a lot of you that don't talk. So again, use this time to learn about each other and...
Well, what I was going to say is, so the coronavirus, what we're definitely sure about is that it's spread by droplets, right? Droplets are larger particles. They will penetrate the upper respiratory tract, right? So they're getting through your nose and your mouth. So because of that, ginger tea, you want to boil ginger, fresh ginger. the root ginger. You're gonna add turmeric to it, right? If you got fresh turmeric, great. If you don't, powdered turmeric. Same with ginger. Honey, Manuka honey is best, right? Lemon, cloves, cayenne pepper. These are the things that we put together, what we have on a daily basis, right? So you drink that down. If you feel that you have a dry cough, don't mean that you got coronavirus. It could be allergies. You know, cold and flu season. Still a thing. Season. The pollen. Which plants are you may be not allergic to certain trees or plants, but then some other plant starts to pollinate. Now you're starting to feel like, man, my eyes are itching, or you know, you get a little breakout of a rash here or there, like this guy's got on the back of his neck, right? Or you know, you might feel tired, headaches. A lot of people get this, pressure right on their sinuses, right? A lot of people get migraines. So the ginger, we call it ginger tea, but we have all these ingredients. So again, ginger, fresh ginger, turmeric, cloves, cayenne pepper, lemon, and Manuka honey, right? Drink that on a daily basis. But we also have our respiratory virucide protocol, RSVP. If you go to electricfood.com/RSVP, we actually have our own protocol kit, which helps to protect your body and your immune system from being infected. It helps boost your immune system from you becoming infected, right? Your cells being breached and they become infected and stuff. So we have the RSVP, right? So go to electricfood.com/RSVP. We've been sending it out. A whole bunch of celebrities who are our clients have requested, like, listen, can we get that? So we've been sending out a lot. A lot of people have been buying them. You have to get them because we have to, every day we're making up new batches because they're going like hotcakes.
Well, what we actually do as well, we actually got a 25% discount.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, we actually have a 25% store-wide discount on all our products, on all our kits, all our protocols, and our meal plans, because we realize that, you know, with this pandemic, what we're in, a lot of people have been stripped from their day-to-day duties at work. So their finances being affected by this. So we want to take that in consideration as well. So we have that 25% discount across the storefront. So please, I mean, we are here to try to facilitate our people the best we can. And we know we're in a pandemic and we know that we're in a delicate situation. So again, Dr. Amsu has told you the protocols that we have because the best line of defense right now is our immune system.
Excellent. So listen, once again, folks, you have been, and I guess technically you still are, watching Electric Docs Live. And today we're on Dr. Amun's live.
Come about the website, electricDocs.
Just about to.
All
right. But listen, guys, without the interruptions. But listen, as some people know, we have a number of places you can sort of get in touch with us. This live, and you know, it got cut off a little bit. So the previous one, we're trying to upload both of them to the YouTube channel. That's electricDocs TV, and we need all you guys to go to YouTube and subscribe to electricDocs TV on YouTube. Also, electricDocs on Instagram, the IG. Make sure you subscribe to that, because that's where we're going to be answering questions in the IG about health, so on and so forth. And both the docs, we all sort of jump in there and answer questions as well. And we need to follow that because, you know, we'll be doing a bunch of specials there as well. But listen, everyone asks, how do you get in touch with us? It's theelectricdocs.com. www, if you're over 21, theelectricdocs.com, and that's basically our link tree. You'll find about, you know, the bios on the docs. You get testimonials. You get access to the Electric Food, which is our online store. We don't really talk a lot about that. We're here, you know, giving information out, but we actually have a whole store, online store. And if you go to theelectricdocs.com, you'll see a link to the Electric Food store, and you can not just buy products, but you can learn about conditions, learn about, you know, certain different remedies and so on and so forth. But listen, guys, interact with us. You know, we're trying to interact with you guys. Procter & Gamble won't interact with you. Your chemist doesn't interact with you unless you go down there. you may get to see your doctor. And a lot of people don't even see their doctor maybe once a year because they have the mandatory health checkup you get to reduce your co-payment. If it wasn't for that, people wouldn't even go to the doctor. There are very few people doing what we do, right? We commend everyone that is, but this is an opportunity for you guys. We learn from you, believe it or not. You know, you ask questions, we go away and study and come back, and, you know, we sort of circle the wagons on that. But use this forum, use these platforms, go along to the website, you know, subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can keep up to date. We've got a bunch of content that we don't even do on this live. There's some cool videos. Listen, I'm going to be posting something. I've got a video of one of the doctors doing some full-scale breakdancing, right? And you're going to get that. I'm going to upload that. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm going to post it. We'll probably do a live on that as well. And we've got a bunch of other stuff, content when we're down to New Orleans. We did some content there. We did the live with Waka Flocka. If you didn't see the live with Waka Flocka, that is so dope. We're going to be uploading that as well. And a bunch of other stuff. So listen to the electricDocs.com, electricDocs TV on the YouTube, and of course, you know, you're on the live IG. This out. I'll send it every to both live sessions today. Interesting comment. I want to share this, guys, with you. Someone said, you know, the problem is with the world right now, when you guys are talking about solutions, is that there's 40-something people watching this live right now, right? But there's probably 40,000, maybe 4 million watching their favorite rapper, you know, their entertainer, joke memes, right? You know, just distracted. You know, Netflix has had, you know, this is the best time for Netflix. And, you know, we're glad for Netflix, don't get us wrong, but the important stuff is this. So I want to let you guys close out talking to that, you know, people's focus and, you know, what do we care about? We talked at the beginning about what people are going to protest for, what they're going to march for. What should they be protesting for, Dr. Hammond?
I mean, they should be demanding better facilities, better health, food conditions, you know, eating, like getting natural food in our communities, getting real food in our communities, because again, that is our medicine. I mean, it's all well and good looking at the Drakes or the J. Coles or the Migos or Cardi B or whoever, but they're living, their lifestyle is totally different to what we are, to how we're living. They don't face the same problems or the same challenges that all their fans are doing. And we are here. We are for the normal people. We're normal people. And we are here holding keys, holding jewels that we want to share and give to everyone out there, because we realize, you know what? Our people are dying and we want to help and aid to put a stop to that. So we're not rappers. We're not entertainers.
People mistake popularity for intelligence.
Exactly, and right? That's a great point. And, say that one more time, Dr.
People mistake popularity for intelligence. So because your favorite artist comes out with a statement, it don't mean that they've done any intellectual or critical thinking on the subject matter. So you following them, what they're saying, that's the most ridiculous thing that's going on. Don't wait for your favorite rapper to talk about coronavirus and break down what it is, because that's never gonna happen.
And I'm telling you now, let's don't beat around the bush. There was a famous rapper that said the coronavirus was man-made. Ridiculous. Stick to rapping, stick to spitting bars. That's not your lane. I mean that. You all mean that. You all captured that and post that and made that go viral. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
Oh, she knows. So
it's rubbish.
I ain't got nothing to
absolutely
do with that.
rubbish.
I love her.
It's absolutely rubbish.
Her.
Again,
so this is where we draw.
We have to do. This is where we had. This is where I said, I'm gonna, because I'm not gonna bite my tongue and I'm not gonna go back on my words because they're popular. Okay, if they talk foolishness, they talk foolishness. I love Denzel Washington. I'm a great fan of Will Smith. I'm a great fan of Halle Berry. But if she came out and said something as dumb as that, hey, that is wrong information. And you have a responsibility as a role model, and as someone who's popular with all your fans to at least say something that is common sense. You don't have to be an expert you don't have to be a neurologist or a theologist or any of that. You don't have to be an expert in the medicine or health world, but say something that makes sense, because you have a responsibility. You have millions and millions of fans looking up to you, and then you say something that ridiculous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous and it's irresponsible. So yeah, I said it, I'll be on my own, I stand up for it, but I will challenge anyone, okay, actress, actor, rapper, whoever. In this day and time, we need truth, we need factual information. We don't need people's personal, like, you know, if you come on and you say, you know what, my personal opinion, I think that is man-made. Fine, because everyone's entitled to their opinion. But coming out and making a bold statement, that's man-made, like you know. What do you know about viruses?
I think...
I'm sorry.
No, Dr. Simon, no, you're more than welcome. You're on your box, you're on your platform, say what you feel, right? Say what you mean. And I think what's really important here, and I think what you said, is that we have to be intellectual ourselves. We have to discern, and that's what education is really about. You know, the reason you go to university, you go to school, you get to higher levels of learning, isn't to learn necessarily about nuclear physics or even medicine, right? What they're really teaching you is critical thinking, how to discern fact from fiction, how to weed out, how to extrapolate data, how to really understand information that's given to you. When you have that intellectual defense, it doesn't matter where you hear information from, you'll be able to dissect it, break it down, write that down. Hold on, what did you just say? And just that can't be factual. And then that way you can enjoy your entertainers as being entertainers. Because the flip side of that is, we may get upset because entertainers or famous people are saying silly things, but the problem is we're taking it in.
Exactly.
I don't mind my entertainers saying silly things because I don't follow them for my intellectual input. Right. If they are intellectual, then fine, we can have a great conversation. A lot of entertainers are actual professionals. You know, entertainment was their fallback trade. When they speak sense. Take that in. What did my mum always tell me, guys? Don't follow your friends. But if you do follow your friends, copy the good things. You see what I mean? So information comes at you from all angles. We've got to learn to discern the good from the bad. So listen, guys, you've been watching electricDocs Live with the famous docs themselves, Dr. Amsu, Dr. Amun. They are the electricDocs. I'm at Mr. Breaks. I'm technically the host. I just wind these guys up, basically. But listen, keep in touch. Send us questions. I want to send a shout out to everyone on the live. They've been sending comments saying you guys are appreciated. It's really hard living the lifestyle, but they really want to do it. This is great. Do this again. Make sure you download the post. Listen, you download it, share it with your friends, post it, leave comments. Remember, www.theelectricdocs.com. It's electricDocs TV on YouTube. Reach out, say bye to your fans, folks.
Hey, thank you for all the support that you guys are always shown us over the years. It's truly appreciated, and just keep following us, man. We're gonna keep pumping out this education, this information, and this knowledge. We're here to serve you guys.
Dr. MC.
Follow at electricDocs, right? For those of you who follow both me and Dr. Amun, at electricDocs, follow electricDocs, follow that, because we're going to be putting a lot of information out. You know, we're just warming up now. You know, as this virus is warming up, we're warming up. So we're going to be putting out a shitload of content for you all to, you know, get educated. And when you're educated, you make educated decisions.
Absolutely. So remember, folks, again, go to the website, theelectricdocs.com, get into electric food. There is a 25% store-wide discount. We put that in place just because coronavirus through the end of April. Get the supplements you need, get healthy, and as we always say, take charge of your lives, folks. Peace out. Hey, what's up, folks? It's electricDocs right here. Dr. Amun, Dr. Amsu, yours truly at Mr. Breaks. Listen, we got another page we want you guys to go and follow. So go along to at electricDocs.
At electricDocs.
At electricDocs.
At electricDocs.
Follow now.
Follow
at
that
electricDocs. Seen?
Follow now.
At Dr. Amsu too.
And don't forget Dr. Amun. _
At Dr. Amsu.
electricDocs.
I work with these people.